Hello and welcome to Faith in an Ever Changing World Encouragement and Hope Faith Story. I'm Janet Harley, your host, and I am so excited and pleased to have as a guest today Jarod O'Flaherty. Welcome, Jarod. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, and good morning to you, Janet.
Good morning. Jarod is a native of the Dallas Fort Worth area, and he is the award winning filmmaker behind the crime drama series Vindication, which released season one in 2019 on Amazon Prime and season two in 2021 on PureFlix. His previous works include the feature film My Son, the World War II documentary. We Were There, and a handful of shorts and music videos. And welcome again, Jarod, multi talented director producer of this Vindication series. And we're going to find out more about that after his faith story. And season three is coming up. So all of us Vindies are excited. We'll be right back, and then we'll hear Jarod's faith story. Okay, Jarod, if you will please share your faith story with us.
Faith story, right? Well, I guess a lot of people, when then posed with that question, would think of their testimony, how they
Right.
came to know Christ, and while
Mm-hmm.
that's obviously the foundation and very important part of the story, for there's also usually 20, 30, 40, 50 years after that point that's part of the faith journey, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm.
it can encompass a lot, and there's a lot to share in there. But I'm one that does like to go back to the testimony, which I think is like the
Okay.
foundation for that journey.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
for me, I grew up as someone who was a believer in Jesus
Mhm.
and someone who professed to be a Christian. For me, during that time, believing though was more of head knowledge of here's what I think happened and here's what I accept to be truth, as
Mhm.
opposed to turning over the steering wheel or turning over the reins of my life to the Lord's
Yeah.
guidance. And so, as I entered my teenage years, the many voices in our world that tell us how we can find fulfillment, how we can find joy, how we can find success and happiness, which are very contrary to what Scripture tells us, those voices are what I heard the most and what I started following in life. Uh, to me, I guess the moment came when God stepped in. I had been in a high school teenage relationship for about a year,
Mhm.
and it was not a healthy thing in
Mm.
any stretch of the imagination for myself or for the young lady involved. And it came to an end. And I wasn't someone at the time who was big into sports or extracurricular activities or anything like that.
Mhm.
My whole world was this relationship, and when it went away,
Mm.
it left me in a very empty spot where I really
Mm.
didn't know. I won't say who I was, but it just left a big empty hole, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Very.
in a moment of trusting God, people can say they heard God speak to them at different times in
Mhm.
life. We usually preface that by saying it was not this audible, booming voice, but it was something inside that you just know that that didn't come from me.
Right.
It was from Him, and I had that moment, and I
Mhm.
was instructed to do something kind of as an act of obedience. And at that point, I thought, I don't have anything to lose. I'm in a pretty low spot anyway, and I did it. And from that moment, it was like a turning point, a hitch, whatever you want to call it, in life, where I was going one direction, and then seeing God speak and tell me something to do, and I did, and He followed through. It's just I was going one direction, and from
Yeah.
that moment on, it changed. And
Mhm.
like I said at the beginning, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, well, Vindication and what I do with the film stuff popped onto that. But if it wasn't for that moment of things in life going this direction and turning to that
Mm.
direction,
Mhm.
uh, you know, I don't know what the story would look like. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We all get to that point when we know that we need Christ. And especially if we've been in either a relationship or uh, whatever, something that we may be going through in life, where we feel lost, we feel pain, we feel that void. Like you said, your relationship was everything that you had. And so, but now you have a relationship with the Lord, and that's the best relationship you can have.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's never changing. He is
That's right.
always there,
That's right.
and well, he offers a lots of grace and forgiveness, but also a lot of guidance. And some
Yes.
people on the outside may look at it as rules of do this, but it's there for protection. It's there to
Right.
help us, and it's because it works. And
In
I tell people sometimes, like,
everything.
yeah, he's the one that wrote the instruction manual on
Yeah.
life, on how to make it work and how to do it well. And when
Absolutely.
we say, well, you
Absolutely.
know what, you wrote this instruction manual, but I don't know that it's for me. And then we end up down the road and realize, why are things not working out? Why am I
Mm,
in such a bad spot?
that's right.
So yeah, that's what he does and where he's at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Jared, I do want to talk about season 3 coming up for Vindication series, and I am a Vindy. Now, those of you who may be watching or watching later, and if you're a Vindy and you're not a member of the Vindy Nation group on Facebook, I'm going to put the link of that group in the comment section after the broadcast so that you can click on that and join us. It is a fun group and really a great way to find out what's going on with the Vindication in each episode. And so it's just very exciting. So I invite you to join this group and be a Vindy with us. And speaking of Vindies and the fans, Jared, we had spoken earlier about the fan response for Vindication, and what a great part they play in a lot with the marketing and so forth, maybe as you would say, for the series.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think of a television show or streaming shows production, you think of actors and directors and crew
Hmm.
members, and those people obviously are the reason that we have had success. The reason that we're
Right.
talking about a season 3 now. There are lots of shows, even top-notch Hollywood professional produced shows that don't get more than a single season, and here we are
Right.
talking about a third season. It's really those
Yeah.
people. But I named those groups. Uh, I think the fans are a part of it for us as well.
Hmm.
Without the fans, there's no demand to keep making more episodes. So and we've got some great people there. There was one young lady from the UK who's such a fan of the show. She started a petition for
Hmm.
a season 3, and
Yeah.
the people that are behind, financially and making sure that the show can keep going, they became
Yes.
aware of it, and then of course Dave Ebert with the Vindy Nation group, which is a collection of the
Oh,
the most passionate Vindication fans, right? Not
yes.
just the,
Yes.
yeah, watch it. These are the people that want to know more. And to see them encouraging each other, supporting each other, talking about the show, and seeing that group continue to grow,
Right.
obviously it helps a production like ours that
Hmm.
doesn't have a big studio with deep pockets behind it. But when you get these fans that are passionate, it just adds to it. And I consider them a part of the project, as much as myself and many others.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are things when you put the trailer out for season 3, we can all be sharing that with our friends and ask them to share with their friends. That certainly helps as well. And of course, watching the series. Uh, and I'm watching season 2 again. I've gotten about halfway through season 2 again. So you can watch it again. So now it is on PureFlix and will be on PureFlix again. Redeem TV in the additional donor. section. I believe we can also watch it there as well. Um, will there be any other places we can find Vindication in 2022?
Yeah, so it's also available for purchase. You can go on to Amazon
Yeah.
Video, purchase the seasons there, which you have forever in your
Yes.
catalog. And there's a handful of other, excuse me, partners like Christian
Hmm.
Cinema, and it's out on DVD. So
Right.
that there are other ways to purchase it and hang on to it as well. So try to get out there as much as possible, but at the same time, PureFlix is a great partner for us. They believe in the show. Where perhaps other streaming services in the mainstream do not. They don't think
Hmm.
that Christians care for this entertainment. They think that we're happy with what Hollywood puts out and that we'll keep coming to them. So a service like PureFlix says, no, I think that the people of faith may want some different entertainment than what Hollywood
Hmm.
puts out, and got behind us. So
Yeah.
certainly a great partner and a place to watch the show.
Oh yes, yes, yes. And if you have not seen Vindication, please uh, check out PureFlix and watch it, because it's just it's an amazing faith-based crime drama and suspense, uh, cliffhangers. Jarod, you are so good at all the cliffhangers at the end of these episodes that leave you hanging so that you have to watch the next one. And so it's just wonderfully done, very well done. And and we need to pray as well as fans. We need to pray for each and every one of you, cast and crew, so that we can pray them through this season 3. Now, when will you begin uh, shooting, filming for season 3, Jarod?
Oh, okay. Well, if I told that now, some of our cast and crew don't even know that yet, because we just announced season 3 happening 3 or 4 days ago. So it's
I'm
very
jumping
fresh.
ahead.
But as far as shooting, I think we're counting in weeks. It's not months and months ahead. It's a matter of weeks. I actually have a meeting with our producer team today to kind of nail down some dates and really get things kicked into high gear. So it's not we'll be on set filming a year from now. It's coming up very soon.
Awesome. That is wonderful. And do you have any projection of a date that we may be able to watch season 3 yet? Or you just,
Most even mainstream television shows, from season to season, you're usually looking at about a year, right? That's usually how long it takes from one season
right.
to the next for them to come out. So I would say for us, that's going to be pretty close as well.
Okay. All right. Well, Jarod, thank you so much for joining me today, for sharing your faith story, and for information here on season 3. And we look forward to it. I have one more question for you. What is one thing we can do to hold on to our faith in this ever changing world?
Well, that's a weighted question, and we could be here
It
for a
is.
while talking about that. And I'm one who likes to stay away from cliche, easy answers on that. So just off the cuff, when you say hold on to something, that would mean that there is some type of a force trying to pull it away or to take it away, to weaken your faith, right? And you're
Mm,
asking how do you hold on to that? It's a matter of strengthening it so that when that force comes along, it cannot be easily swayed. I think of a house sitting on the beach, and you don't strengthen your foundation and your piers and your beams and your structure when the hurricane is already hitting. That's too late at that point, right? You've
right.
got to do it during the times of the calm, right?
Mm,
And you strengthen it knowing that something is coming ahead, that it may
mm,
happen. So I think of that in our lives, that if the hurricane is coming, during those times that we can strengthen our faith.
yeah.
And we all know the answers to that, of getting into the word and through prayer and those
Yes.
type of things. Strengthen your faith then, so that when that force comes, that you need to hold on to it, you've got the strength that you need.
It will be there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wise words. Wise words. Thank you, Jarod. Appreciate you being with me. Thank you all for watching. And thank you to those at Creative Motion Network, great family. And thank you all as well for watching. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. Bye. God bless.